August 27th, 2025. The day started like any other. Coffee, traffic, routine. But by sunset, the world of sports was in chaos. FIFA had pulled the 2026 World Cup from the United States, the biggest sporting event on the planet, gone from the world's biggest economy less than a year before kickoff. The announcement came in a sterile press release, but its impact was seismic. The US, once a co-host with Canada and Mexico, was suddenly out. Every match would now be held in Canada. Imagine planning a massive party for years, only to be told the day before it's at your neighbor's, and you're not invited. For millions of American fans, cities, and businesses, it was a gut punch. This wasn't just about soccer. It was about national pride, a chance to cement America's place as a soccer nation. To have that ripped away at the last minute felt like a global rejection. The beautiful game had packed its bags and left town without a goodbye. Never in modern World Cup history had a host nation been stripped so close to the tournament. FIFA offered few answers, leaving the world to speculate and rage. The story dominated every news channel and social feed. The World Cup was still happening, but its soul had been abruptly relocated. America was left with a soccer ball-shaped hole in its heart. The decision was unprecedented, and the shockwaves were just beginning. The beautiful game had left, and nothing would be the same. The morning buzzed with anticipation. Stadiums gleamed, banners flew, countdown clocks ticked. Fans made plans, booked flights, and reserved hotels at sky-high prices. This was supposed to be America's month-long celebration of the world's game. Then rumors started. A cryptic tweet, a strange report, whispers of something unthinkable. Most dismissed it. FIFA pulling the World Cup from the US? Impossible. The contracts were signed, the money spent, the machine in motion. By late afternoon, the rumors became headlines. Major news outlets reported a FIFA announcement was imminent. The mood shifted from excitement to anxiety. At 6 p.m., the official statement dropped. The World Cup was moving to Canada. The dream evaporated in an instant. Countdown clocks stopped. Banners became relics. The party was over before it began. Shock and disbelief swept the nation. Years of preparation, hope, and investment vanished overnight. The ordinary day ended in national shock. The world's game had left, and America was left to pick up the pieces. The loss was total: economic, emotional, and cultural. The countdown was over, and so was the dream. The unthinkable had happened. FIFA's official reason? Logistical and security challenges. They cited transportation issues, fragmented security, and coordination problems with US authorities. But the US had hosted Olympics, Super Bowls, and a World Cup before. This explanation felt thin. Insiders whispered about deeper issues: power struggles, control, and FIFA's demands for tax breaks and marketing rights. The real story was about a clash of wills: FIFA's sovereignty versus US government inflexibility. The official statement blamed US organizers, but many saw it as a smokescreen. The truth was messy and political, not just about bus routes or police. FIFA wanted total control. The US wouldn't bend. The logistical challenges were symptoms of a much bigger conflict. The official explanation was neat, but the reality was anything but. Disbelief turned to anger. At FIFA, at the government, at anyone to blame. #FIFAgate trended worldwide as Americans vented their fury. The economic hit was immediate. Billions lost, contracts voided, jobs vanished. Cities had invested fortunes in stadiums and infrastructure, expecting a windfall. All that hope disappeared overnight. The emotional toll was just as severe. For a generation of fans, this was supposed to be the moment soccer arrived in America. Parents who fell in love with the game in '94 wanted to share it with their kids. Now, that dream was gone. The blame game began. Officials, politicians, bureaucrats, all pointing fingers. Unity turned to division and recrimination. Instead of coming together, the nation tore itself apart over the loss. Empty stadiums stood as monuments to a broken promise. The shock wasn't just losing the World Cup, but how easily it was taken away. It was a harsh lesson in the fragility of dreams. The fallout was economic, emotional, and deeply personal. America's World Cup dream had ended before it began. The scars would last for years. While America reeled, Canada was stunned, and then mobilized. Once a junior partner, suddenly Canada was the sole host. The challenge was massive, but so was the surge of national pride. The underdog narrative took hold. Canada, the reliable neighbor, stepping up. The government pledged to deliver a world-class tournament. But pride doesn't build stadiums. Canada had to expand from 2 host cities to at least 10. Cities like Montreal and Edmonton were suddenly back in play. 3 years of planning had to be crammed into 10 months. The logistical mountain was enormous, but determination spread coast to coast. The world was watching. Could Canada pull it off? For a country often in America's shadow, this was a chance to shine. Challenge accepted. The real sticking point? Visas. FIFA wanted open access for all players, officials, and fans, no exceptions. The US refused to guarantee entry for everyone, citing security. Canada, in contrast, promised a streamlined visa process for anyone with a World Cup ticket. Their message: if you have a ticket, you're welcome. This open-door policy was exactly what FIFA wanted. The visa issue became the heart of the controversy: security versus openness. FIFA chose inclusivity, and Canada delivered. The wall, both literal and bureaucratic, was too high for the World Cup to cross. The news exploded worldwide. Headlines screamed, memes flew, and social media erupted. European tabloids mocked American chaos, while others cheered Canada's underdog story. Fans everywhere weighed in. Some mocked, some sympathized, all were shocked. Teams scrambled to change plans, canceling US hotels and rebooking in Canada. The logistical headache for 48 nations was immense. The global narrative solidified. FIFA's arrogance, US incompetence, and Canada's heroics. The world loves an underdog, and Canada was now the star. The World Cup story became a geopolitical drama. It was no longer just about soccer. It was about power, pride, and global spectacle. The ripple effects were felt from Brazil to Japan. The beautiful game had a new home, and the world was watching. With the world watching, Canada sprang into action. Emergency meetings, new host cities, and a national transportation plan, all on a tight deadline. Cities like Edmonton and Montreal dusted off old plans and promised to be ready. Infrastructure upgrades began overnight. Construction crews worked around the clock. The pressure was immense, but so was the sense of purpose. The real magic was the volunteer spirit. Hundreds of thousands signed up to help. Canadians opened their homes, became guides, and embodied the welcoming spirit. The volunteer army became the heart of the effort. As months passed, panic turned to possibility. Stadiums rose, plans came together, and the narrative shifted. Look at them go. Canada, the understudy, was now the superstar. The country transformed itself in real time, fueled by pride and determination. The world was ready for Canada's show. The US faced loss: economic, emotional, and cultural. Stadiums sat empty, a painful reminder of what could have been. The event left a scar on the American sporting psyche. In Canada, it was a story of opportunity seized. The Maple Leaf Miracle was a resounding success, praised worldwide. Canada's reputation soared. The risk paid off. For a moment, the usual dynamic was reversed. Canada was the hero, the US the spectator. American fans traveled north, welcomed by their Canadian hosts. The saga became a lesson: global leadership requires flexibility, and opportunity favors the bold. The beautiful game had left one home, but found another, changing both nations forever.